Welcome back to Strong. It is episode 15. I am so excited to be bringing episode 15 to you, and I'm so excited and so grateful to have the technology to be able to continue with our interviews of Strong, regardless of what's going on in the world. By the time you see this episode, I'm hoping that COVID-19 is something that we are discussing in the past. I'm hoping that we are able to be celebrating with family and friends from around the world, and we're able to be hugging our loved ones, because I know that right now, on the day of filming this episode, I know that I'm really missing my family and friends from abroad, and I'm sure that all of you were as well. And I'm going to be talking about COVID-19 as something in the past, because my hope and my wish for all of us is that it is something in the past by the time you see this episode. So Strong is about journeys of women and sharing stories about lives, real life stories. And it is not one woman's journey. It is the journey of many. And it is the journey that I hope will enrich and empower the youth from all over the world. And the exciting part of these interviews using this technology means that I have access to women all over the world. So if you're watching this and you're wondering how you can participate, all you need to do is send me a message, info@mariavitaratos.com, and I will definitely be so excited to be interviewing you as well. But tonight brings Sara to our Strong journey. Welcome, Sara. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me in your show. Thank you so much.
I am so excited to have you here, and I'm so excited because the way that we connected was a way that I dreamed that I could start connecting with women around the world, and that's social media. Would you like to tell us how I reached out to you and your impression when you had that message?
I posted a post, and you comment on my post in Instagram, and you mentioned I would love to have you in my show, Strong. So I was so curious to know more about it. So I checked your profile, and I started to see one of your episodes, and especially I saw your first one because I want to know more about your story. So really, your story also touched my heart. So I felt, no, of course I want to be I contact you through a message on Instagram and tell me, yes, of course I would love to be invited to your show. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And this is the magic of social media right now, is the ability to connect with each other, even being in a physical different part of the world, of the city, and that's so amazing. So I'm so excited to have you here, and I'm always so excited when we get a positive response, but it's so great. And I know that we are aligned on many different professional fronts, but today is all about Sara, the woman, Sara, the person, and we're going to leave work to the side, at least just for now. So in the spirit of all things strong, let's start right at the beginning of Sara's journey. Who is Sara?
Who is Sara? Big question. Very big question.
It really is a big question.
Yeah. So I can say that I'm still in the self-discovery. I'm always discovering myself. So who Sara is? She just a simple lady. Has dreams, and also she believes that she has a message, and she came to earth not just for nothing, you know what I mean? There is a message. So and her message is she wants to stop the suffering and to raise a collective consciousness. So yeah, this is this is me.
Amazing.
There is a lot. I feel there is a lot of things,
and
but
and
yeah, this is
and let's bring it all together. So this next question might help you
yeah.
express it. Take us through a typical day in the life of Sara.
Okay. I woke up and pray, and then I meditate, because meditation is very important for me. And then dancing, listening to music. So yeah, I like dancing so much, especially Latin music. I like. So what else? Start working. Um, Working, reading. I always like to develop my skills, heal a lot of things inside me, because I believe there is a lot of things inside us in the subconscious mind need to be healed. You know what I mean? We have a lot of things, especially I believe that we have a lot of beliefs we took from when we are so young, from other people. It's not our beliefs, especially the limiting beliefs,
Mm-hmm.
the beliefs which don't serve us at all, don't
Okay.
serve us at all. So I'm in the process of want to heal more, so I can be able to help people.
Of course.
I have to be healed so I can be able to help people all more. Yeah.
You're so right.
Yes.
You're so right.
Yeah.
And that's something that young people, we want them to understand, that it's a process, that we don't just wake up conscious and aware. We don't just wake up empowered and feeling that we can conquer any obstacle. It's a process. And this is the what I love about hearing these stories, because every woman has that journey and that process. Talk to me about the different roles that you have in your life as Sara.
Okay. Different roles. I have okay. I have the lady. She has the full-time job.
Okay.
um, and another one, the other role that working on her business, a side hustle business.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the other role, I am a daughter and a sister. Um, yeah, a daughter and a sister. Yeah, this is the till now.
And what's it like to go from, the one role to another? Do you find that when you're working and then you're doing your side hustle, as you said, do
Yeah.
you find that there's different parts to Sara, excuse me, different parts to Sara that she needs to show more of or less of, or maybe when she's a sister or a daughter, do you always feel that you kind of have to um, weave your way into every role?
I didn't understand the question exactly.
Okay, that's fine.
Mm.
So when we
Mm.
go from role to role, from being a daughter to being
Yeah.
a sister to working as a full-time
Yeah.
employee to then owning our own business,
Yes.
sometimes we have to be a little more assertive in one role, be less assertive in another role. Do you find that
Yeah.
when you're moving from role to role, that you have to be a different Sara, or are you the same through each role?
I am the same, but sometimes, like you said, that yeah, you cannot be the same in each role, of course. I used in the beginning. I used to suffer a lot because I was the same in
Mm.
each role, but I discovered no, you cannot. Sarah, the full-time job is different than the one she has her own business. You know what I mean? Of course, the daughter and the sister. So I cannot mix my my professional personality with the personal personality, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I used to mix it up, really mix
Okay.
it everywhere, but I learned. I'm still learning also. I'm still learning that, okay, this part, yeah, for example, we, as a sister, Sarah, don't talk a lot about your work, you know, just listen to her and be a sister now, you know, be a daughter now. So yeah, of course, it's become better than before. I used to mix everything. And also when you are working as a full-time job and you believe in yourself, you know, I have a lot of capabilities and abilities. I want to do this. I have this great idea, because you are in the other personality.
Of course. Yeah.
So when I approach some, not all of the manager, but some of the manager, they don't accept this, because they want you to be following certain instructions, no, creating, and this sometimes I find a way, because I I always like to find a way. Okay, I will find a way to do this, because I believe in myself, and I believe in my message I have, and I do it. And sometimes, of course, my ideas get rejected. It's okay.
Yeah.
So, but it made me realize you still the full-time job, because you are employee, you will always have this like limit. They're trying to put you in a limit.
Okay.
But as I'm doing in my business, the side hustle business, I feel more freedom.
Of course.
Freedom.
Yes.
Doing innovating. No one will tell me no, we'll not implement this idea. You know, I will do it. You know, I do it. I believe it. I will not take the permission from someone to do it. So yeah, this is the conflict between both sides, the employee and the entrepreneur, because you feel you are you
Of
earn.
course. Yeah. No, definitely. Definitely. And I
Yeah.
know that sometimes women and men struggle with dipping in from one role to another role. How do
Yeah.
you find the balance between understanding Sarah's values and Sarah's needs and being able to get through difficult conversations, maybe at work, or get through the responsibilities of family? Because in having your own business and working for another company, there's finding the time for both, right?
Yeah, of course. So um, I have a methodology called the sequence pattern. It makes me react in hard situation in a different way, so different. Okay, so anytime I get rejected, or my ideas got rejected, I always ask a question: what is the sequence? Okay,
It's a great
so what
question.
is yeah, it's amazing. I discovered this law. It's considered one of the universal laws, called the sequence pattern. You will stop judging any event as a bad event, because it is a sequence for something good will happen in the future, or it prevents something bad from happening.
Oh.
Okay,
Mhm.
so this way of thinking, I name it also sequence thinker, like positive thinker, sequence thinker.
Nice.
So because I became I become a sequence thinker, really a lot of things I don't see it a bad event. As for example, it happened like I think 1 month ago. Yeah, 1 month ago, I proposed to my manager an idea. Okay, to do it, but he rejected this idea, and he didn't appreciate me at all. Okay, so I said, what is the sequence? I didn't take offended. Oh my God, he didn't accept my idea. What this? No, no, no. I said, okay, there is a sequence. It's a sequence for something good will happen next. Okay, so I start asking, what is the sequence? What is the sequence? 2 days, I knew the answer. I was in event, okay, one of the audience, okay, And suddenly, because inside me, I was like, I feel so pain. Like, I have a message. I want to help people to stop suffering. I want to spread more the sequence pattern and this, and there is a lot of things inside me. I feel this pain, you know. And then suddenly, one of the speakers, it was a big event, like the audience were 2,000 people or more. Okay, so suddenly, one of the speakers said, "Who want to share his story?" I was like, I didn't even hesitate, you know. I said, me, and stand up. I stand up, okay, and I'm doing like this. So he told me, okay, the green lady. I was wearing green. Thank God, it was very obvious color. So, and because of the pain I feel inside me, it pushes me to speak regardless of my fears. Of course, 2,000 people, of course, we have a lot of fears,
Yeah,
because I always believe that I have a motto. Always I say, um, feel the fear and take action anyway.
very
Feel it
nice.
and take it. You know what I mean? So I told myself, I feel it, take action. So I spoke and I shared my story, and I spoke about the sequence pattern. So and in the middle of my speech, I just said, "What is the sequence?" And I do like this. So why I said it with this energy, even people felt it, because I'm really asking what is the sequence inside me. I was just not saying what is I'm really asking myself what is the sequence that I didn't get appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine, I didn't get appreciated from one person, but I got appreciated from 2,000 people in that day.
That's
So
amazing.
that was the sequence. That was the sequence. So we always, pain is part of the process. Pain is part of the process. Pain is pushing us to do more. Okay? I
That
knew it.
is, yeah. That is so amazing.
Mm,
Tell me a little bit about
mm,
how you use that sequence way of thinking, because young people, especially the youth that are in the journey of getting ready for their next either academic step or their next step moving into employment, what they are
mm.
struggling with is first understanding what is the purpose of why this pain is happening, or what is the purpose between why I didn't achieve what I wanted to, and they judge themselves really harshly. So in reflecting on your life, thinking about how you use this method of the sequence to support yourself through the challenge, talk to us about how you remember to use the sequence when things are difficult.
um, I reprogrammed my mind to be a sequence thinker. There is a technique. I have my training program. It's called Conquer Challenges by Switching the Way You Think. In this training program, I reprogrammed our mind to be a sequence thinker automatically.
Mm-hmm.
There is a techniques. Okay. I'm gonna share with you some of the techniques. Okay.
Okay.
That you will start reprogramming your mind to be a sequence thinker, and automatically any event you will say what is the sequence. Any event, any challenge, you will say, okay, what is the sequence? So one of the techniques, the sequence and pain. Okay, why we feel pain in our life? Because there is a message from the pain. Okay, there is too much messages or more. Okay, the first message, help people who have the same pain.
Mm. That makes a lot of sense.
I think, yeah. I think, ask yourself why you did strong.
Mm. You're right.
Sequence and pain.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't experience the pain of something, you will not be able to understand what is the meaning. You will not understand it. For example, if you suffered from lack of money, you experience the pain of lack of money. So you will help people who are poor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you understand their suffering. Me also, if I didn't experience this pain, I have faced a lot of challenges in my life, you know. if I didn't been through this painful moments, I be wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now, really, at all.
Mm-hmm.
So first message, help people who have the same pain. Second message, don't do this pain to another person.
Mm.
Someone broke your heart, don't go and broke someone else's heart. So and to be continued, every one of us, when the person asks what is the sequence, everyone receive different answers. Also, maybe you can receive now a different answer. You can receive it through, you will tell me, Sarah, how I can receive the answers. I always believe that we have the answer within.
Mm-hmm.
All the answers are within. So you receive it through your intuition, through someone, through a post, through a quotation, you will receive it. But when you ask what is the sequence, you will be able to see the answers. It's all about asking the right question. Mm-hmm. If you didn't ask, you will not be able to see it. The answer is already there, but you will not be able to see it. So yeah, this is one of the techniques, the sequence and pain. And another technique also, the sequence and rejection. Why we got rejected, all the ideas, or got rejected in relationships, in a job, because you are not rejected. You are redirected to better opportunities.
That is so amazing. And I know that pain and rejection they're really probably in the top two most uncomfortable situations that we find ourselves in. Can we go a little bit deeper into your teenagehood, into your younger years?
Yeah.
Because Sara today, the woman that we see in front of us today, came on a journey, like you said right at the beginning. You know, you didn't just wake up this empowered, self-conscious, very conscious and aware, and very able to recognize the sequence requirements of pain and frustration. So if we took you back a few years and asked you, what would you say was the greatest challenge that you faced so far in your life?
Okay, when I lost my hearing sense in my left ear, of course, I didn't imagine that one day I gonna lose one of my sense. You know, I think sometimes we take things for granted. Yeah. So when I lost my hearing, I was like, I didn't even know that I lost my hearing. It's blocked, you know. I cannot believe that I lost it. Oh, maybe it's blocked, you know. Yeah, maybe some water came or anything. I went to the doctor and tell him, yeah, my ear is blocked. Please help me to fix this, you know. And then the doctor told me that you lost your hearing sense, and if you didn't take cortisone, you will not be able to hear again. And she started shouting at me. I was like, and I started to cry, of course. Like, why you are shouting at me? And then I told her, why you did this? She told me, because you didn't believe that you lost your hearing, and like I'm waking you up, you know. It's you have to take cortisone. If you didn't take it, you will not be able to hear anymore. So I have to make you awake. So yes, I start to take cortisone. And then I partially recovered, but not 100%. I depend more on my right ear. Okay. So from here, this challenge, I start to discover the sequence. Before it, I didn't notice it. It's, you know what, the sequence is happening all the time, but no one recognizes it. Okay. I start to recognize the sequence. So what happened? What was the sequence, Maria? That I was before I lost my hearing, I was working a very stressful job and very hard job, outdoor sales, and I don't have car. So when I had this challenge, I stayed at home, and a doctor told me, you cannot go to work now, and you cannot even perform this job anymore. You have to be in indoor job and no telephone calls, no calls. It's just admin work indoors. So after I recovered partially, I went to my work and I give them the report that I cannot perform the job anymore. And the sequence was that I got transferred to another department, a better department, indoors without telephone calls. You know what I mean?
Very nice.
It was better then. And my colleagues say, "Oh my God, Sara, you are in the office," It's like they are suffering out. And so I started, oh my God, this hearing thing, there is a purpose. It's not happened for nothing, It's happened for a reason. Not only one reason, reasons.
So
I get a better.
It sounds to me like you always had a level of optimism.
Yeah.
How did you get that? Where did you learn to be optimistic? Being a teenager, where did you learn how to be optimistic?
Oh, nice question. I didn't think about it. What made me optimistic? When I remember my childhood wasn't that easy, really. It was very harsh. Very harsh. I don't know how I was optimistic although what happened. I don't know. So let me. What? My mother. Yeah, my mother. Of course.
Tell us more about your mom.
Yeah, of course. My mother faced a lot of challenges. A lot. And although these challenges, she was strong. Yeah, she was so strong. And I learned from her, of course. I'm still learning from her. And she was also in this middle of hardships, laughing, it's crazy. We are in the middle of hardship. We're supposed to, cry. No, she told me I don't like to cry. Of course, sometimes you cry. Of course, not all the time we are smiling.
Yeah.
The thing that some people get confused between optimism and happiness. There is huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
Happiness, you cannot be happy all the time. You cannot. There is down moments. You will be sad. You will be. You will feel the painful moments. But optimism is like you are in the middle of hardship, crying. Okay, but you know that everything will be better, and life is working for you. Mm-hmm. This is the difference.
Of course.
Okay. So this is the difference. So she used to laugh, and you know what I mean. And we didn't experience continual sadness. We just sat crying, okay, and then we always have faith in God that God will find a way, find a way for us. So because of this faith, a lot of things got better because of this optimism. So thank you so much for asking me this question. Really, I didn't realize how I am optimistic like this, but of course, from my mother, of course.
And I love that you had to think about it, because sometimes we don't realize that we do something so naturally, like in talking to you and anyone watching this. I want you to understand this is our first conversation. I've never had a conversation with Sara before. And in hearing you talk, I can see your optimism. I can feel your optimism. You have a very vibrant energy, a very vibrant approach. And I'd like to let anyone watching this that's saying, because I think sometimes people look at the outside and say, what, they're so lucky, she's so lucky, they're not like me. If only they understood that, life is really difficult. And that's why in asking you, how did you learn, or where did you learn to become that optimistic? Because we all have the potential to look at opportunities with optimism. And I think right now with COVID-19, there's so many messages going on around the world. You have messages of optimism, and then you have messages of doom and gloom. And you always get to decide what channel to watch, right? You always get to decide what message you want to hear more of.
Yeah.
And I almost imagine that youth are struggling with this idea of optimism because they assume that it's luck. And I don't believe it is luck. And that's
Mhm.
why I'm asking you, what do you wish you could do to help? So, in talking about what you called the sequence, you said that
Yes.
there's two key messages. One is helping others with your pain, and two
Yeah.
is the frustration and making sure that you don't do the same to others. But if I were to ask you,
Mm.
how do you imagine that you could help if you could help someone that was struggling with the same kind of pain that you had? How could you offer tips and help to them?
Because you experience the pain, you can be able to help them easily. Why? Because you will not. I don't like the idea of giving advices. Okay, Maria, I want to give you some tips to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I hate this technique. I hate it. I like the advice to be like what, Maria, you know what, I was like you, same, I have experienced the same pain, and what I did 1, 2, 3, and I become better, and this. So I give you the advice without, in indirect way, and I'm not saying you have to do this. I'm sharing my story and what I did to inspire you, you know what I mean? So I like this way of giving advice. It's not direct, just do it to yourself, give it to yourself first, implement it first. So people even, you know what, it's easier to change the world when you change yourself first, really, because people will see your action.
Of course.
Your actions speak. Your actions speak. So it's better than just giving advices, you know. Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about so we see Sarah right now, vibrant,
Yeah.
energetic, enthusiastic,
Thank you.
very optimistic. I'm being really careful not to say the word positive because I think positive has become like strong. It's a label that we use to compliment someone, but actually it can become a mask as well. So I'm being really careful. But if we were to look
Okay.
at if we were to look at Sarah as a whole from the outside, you give off
Yeah.
that energy, that vibrancy, the enthusiasm, and the positivity. But what is it like when nobody's watching, Sarah? Take me
Hmm.
through when the clients are no longer in front of you, when sometimes you are tired of being on stage
Yeah.
and you're just by yourself. What's it
Yeah.
like?
Now or before? Because there is difference. Okay. Before. Let's talk before.
Okay.
Before, I used to have a lot of negative self-talk. A lot.
Mm.
Negative. Always I feeling I'm not enough, you know? Always feeling, oh, Sara, you didn't do a great job. You need to do this. Oh, yeah, Sara, you are not good enough. So I was even shining on stage, and this inside me, there is also something, no, not enough. You need to achieve more. And I realized that it never ends.
Mm.
It never ends. So I was like, and suddenly I watched a motivational video. I was in a depression that phase. I watched a motivational video, and the speaker, she mentioned, you have to forgive yourself.
Mm.
So she was Lisa Nicholas, really. I adore her work. So she starts sharing her story also. She didn't say tips, you have to do this and that. No. She shared her story, and then she started to say, I forgive you. I love you so much, you know what I mean? You're amazing. I commit that you will achieve your goals. I'm proud of you. So when I saw her talking to herself in that way, oh my God. So I start to talk to myself in that way every day. I have a daily routine. I have to do it with myself. Say, Sara, I'm proud of you. You did a great job. I start remembering everything good I did. I start
Mm.
appreciating. Second, Sara, I forgive you. I know, because sometimes we criticize ourselves, or we feel guilty any mistakes we made or something. So Sara, I forgive you that you made this mistake. And then I commit that next time you will do in a positive day. And the mistake I said, I forgive you, I commit that the next time you will not do this, in a positive way, of course. So I start talking to myself in that way. Huge shift in my life. Huge. Why? Because now I enjoy my company. You know what I mean? Now in COVID-19, I'm enjoying. I want to dance, I will dance. Even sitting with myself, I don't feel bored. Because why I don't feel bored? Because inside me there is positive affirmation. Always say I'm proud of you and this. So I feel good with by myself even. I heard that happiness when you are by yourself, when you feel happy by yourself without any reason even.
Yes.
So I don't have any reason, but I enjoy, you know what I mean? So this time I start to be kind to myself, and even in hardships. I'm not saying that all the time I was like, I'm so positive, and not all the time. Of course, sometimes you are sad, you want to cry, but even the time when I cry, I let myself cry. Why? Because if you resist something, it persists. Sara, you are in a bad mood now. You don't want to work. You don't want to do anything on social media. You don't. Okay, don't do anything. You want to cry? Okay, cry. So I start to cry. You feel you are upset? Okay. So I discovered that when I let myself feel even this negative emotions, it passed easily. But when I said to myself, Sara, how come you are sad today? Yesterday you were so happy. Why you are sad? You are. When I say to myself this, I persist in that mood.
Of course.
So yeah.
That is such a great tip. That is such a great tip. And we forget, don't we? We do forget to tap
Of course.
ourselves. We forget to
Yeah.
tap ourselves on the back and say, you know what, you did your best today. I think
Yeah.
we spend so much time trying to finish or get to the goal, or, you know, we try to overachieve and we try to overjudge ourselves. And I see this a lot. I see this a lot in the work that I do. I see this a lot with myself too. How do you remind yourself you can cry, you can be angry, but you
Yeah.
can't stay there? Because I think that's another skill that I'm hearing again and again from women that I'm meeting and talking to on this journey of strong, is they all allow themselves to go through it, but they also remind themselves you can't live there, you can't stay in that pain, you have to get.
Yeah.
How do you remind yourself?
Just a question. What is the sequence?
I love
That's
that
it.
question. I love that
Really,
question.
it's amazing. Really, the question, it's pushing me forward, and I was be able to see opportunities. And for example, a lot of situation. I want to give you one of the examples. Okay, remember when I told you about the depression phase? Okay, I was in depression phase because also someone questioned my sequence pattern and judge me, and I got rejected. My first presentation about the sequence, I got rejected. I was rejected, and I was told that you don't have any evidence about what you are saying. You know, what is the proof? Please provide me with a book who is mentioning this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and I was said that this presentation would be only for teenagers only. You cannot give it to adults. You know what I mean? So of course, at that time, when someone يعني, judge or reject an idea, you totally believe in it, and give you harsh criticism, you start, of course, question your abilities, question your ideas and everything.
Of
So I
course.
was in this depression phase. When I start talking to myself, I forgive you, and this, Sara, you forgot to ask a question. What is the sequence? And the pain, gone. Why? Because I know there's a message. The pain, okay, the pain, there is a message inside the pain. Once you get the message, the pain will be released.
How
So
do
what
you
is the...
how do you know when you receive the answer though, Sarah? I know people watching this right now. Somebody
Mm,
out there is
mm,
watching this and saying,
mm,
Sarah, I've
yeah,
done the work. I've done the work on myself.
yeah.
I'm listening to myself. But how do you know when it's the answer, and how do you know when it's just you telling yourself something to make yourself believe it's the answer?
I'll tell you something. Maybe let's ask different questions before the what is the sequence, so people will start to understand what the question more. Okay, it's like I am asking, what are you? I'm asking myself. Sometimes I ask God. Okay, what God? What are you pushing me to do? Because I believe it's not a bad event. The belief, I cannot believe it's a bad, I know it's a sequence for something good will happen. So what are you pushing me to do? What is the sequence? Okay? So the answer I received is within my intuition. It's like a small voice inside you knows everything. Okay? Sarah, remember, you are in the sequence and pain. I give you the first technique, sequence and pain. Okay, Sarah, you are sequence and pain. You are feeling depressed. You have negative self-talk, right? It's a pain. Okay, what is the message of the pain? Help people who have the same pain. That's why what I'm doing now as a life coach. I'm helping people who have the same pain, depression or negative self-talk, and I can help them because I already experienced it. I can relate to them, and I discovered a lot of techniques to help you to go from this stage. And also, Sarah, don't criticize someone. Of course, you feel this pain. Don't do it to another person.
Of course.
Once I got the message, done.
That's amazing.
Done. Yeah.
Sarah, you are just, it's so, I love talking to you. I can talk and talk and talk. But I'm so conscious of our time, and I'm so conscious that I don't have the crew here telling me, Maria, time. So I want to make sure that we get the most of this. Sarah, you talked about when you were younger and that it was challenging. You talked about your mom being your role model for optimism. You talked about the techniques that you taught yourself to be optimistic. You talked about the honesty and telling us that, I am like this today, but before this, I did have a journey. Where do you see yourself? What are your aspirations? What do you dream to be achieving?
I can see myself helping different nationalities, and people, a lot of people will stop suffering in life, and increasing spreading the sequence pattern. So the world will have more sequence thinkers, and I can feel it to be international coach, international speaker, and you know what? I feel it. I feel it. I feel when people are asking what is the sequence, you know what I mean? I feel it because I totally believe in it, about the power of this sequence pattern. Really, it's so powerful. It make you sense opportunities in the middle of your darkest moments. Really, why I'm in front of you right now? It was a sequence. Why I'm here in Dubai? It was a sequence. I was in Egypt crying. I was in hardship before I come to Dubai. I was crying, and it was totally, I name it the collapse phase. I have financial, career, and relationship challenge. I was crying and saying, God, what are you pushing me to do? I know there is a sequence, and I'm crying. I believe it's a sequence. And the sequence is, Sara, you will travel abroad. You will go to Dubai. You will start doing your passion more, life coaching, and you're gonna inspire people. And you're gonna win the best speaker competition in 2018. And to be continued. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if this didn't happen, I wouldn't be here in front of you now.
You know, in hearing you say this, I know that I love this idea of looking at situations with optimism, but I can't help but self-reflect and think,
Yeah.
Sara, for somebody watching this and hearing your message, which is so empowering, how do we find situations like mine where we lose a child or we might lose a spouse? Right now, all over the world, families are losing loved ones.
Yes.
How do we look at these challenges, these life moments that are tragic and traumatic, and how do we use the sequence to help us through that pain?
Okay. First of all, you have to feel the sadness. Uh, it's. I'm not saying, oh, you have to be happy. No, of course, it's a hard situation,
Mm.
and cry, release this negative emotion. Um, don't try to be strong
Mm.
before you are ready to be strong. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Let yourself be weak. Yeah, it's okay, cry. And if someone says you have to be strong, I let me pass this phase, and I know I will get back again. But let me be in that phase. Cry, whatever you don't want to do anything. Do release your emotion. So
And that,
releasing the
yeah.
emotions.
Sorry,
Mm,
keep going.
yeah, releasing the emotions, and remind yourself after releasing your emotions, there is a sequence because there is a message. There is people who have the same pain needs you,
Mm.
and you will be able to help them. So when you live your life not for yourself only,
Mm.
you are living your life to serve others.
And that's
Really huge
so
shift.
so
Yeah.
beautiful. And I have to say, I really believe in that message of sometimes when we're in the deepest pain, and I can say
Yes.
this with total transparency,
Yeah.
when you're in the deepest darkest pain, to be able to help somebody else, I think for me anyway, and maybe anyone watching this might also want to
Yeah.
add to this conversation, in that if you can forget yourself for a minute and help somebody else, it's amazing that the healing that comes back to you as well. And I think this ability to help others, which is why we are watching this show today, you know,
Yeah.
it was inspired from a place of pain, but also it was
Yes.
inspired from a place of how one woman's pain can potentially support many women's journey ahead. So
Yes.
thank you so much. And
You're welcome.
I know that your aspirations to helping others, I can
Yes.
see you're already doing that already. So,
Thank
Sara, somebody watching this is
you.
definitely going to want to know more about this sequence. How can we
Yeah.
find out more? How can we reach you? Where do we find you?
Uh, by through Instagram, my account is coach underscore Sara Shata, and also LinkedIn, Sara Shata. I have an article in LinkedIn. I spoke about the sequence and coronavirus.
Wow, excellent.
Yeah, yeah, because when you are sequence thinker, you are not connecting the dots backwards only, also forward.
Oh, very
So you,
interesting.
yeah. So a lot of people read this article, Sarah. You know what? It gave me a lot of hope. I mean, I feel like it's just temporary situation, and I start asking myself, what is the sequence? Maybe there is a sequence for me. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
some people commented, Sarah, my sequence that I now have the time to work on my delayed goals, and I did my YouTube channel now because I have time. You know what I mean?
That's so
So
amazing.
yeah.
So amazing. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Sara.
You're
Thank you so
welcome. Thank you
much.
for having me. Thank you so much. It was amazing and deep conversation. And I like your questions, really.
Thank you.
You make me realize some things I didn't notice before.
Thank
So
you
yeah,
so
thank you so
much.
much. And thank you for the message you are here, the message you are delivering to the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. And that's a wrap for today. So here we are. We're in our temporary
Mm.
studio. It's episode 15, and I am so excited to continue this journey. Thank you for watching. For anyone just joining us for the first time and wondering, what is this journey about? Strong is a journey of sharing stories. It's about having conversations with women just like Sara. It's about sharing our knowledge and sharing our wisdom. The mission that I want to accomplish before my time comes to an end is that I want real people to become the superheroes of our youth. It's time to take ownership of the wisdom that starts at home. So if you are young and you are watching this, or you are young at heart and you are watching this, thank you for joining the journey that I've called Strong. Join us next week when we bring a wonderful new story to episode 16. Thank you.